Good evening, gang, and it's a very, very pleasant Wednesday night, I have to say. Wednesday, the 22nd of June, 2022. Welcome along to tonight's little chat show, tonight's YouTube Live, and I note that we might have a few more little subscribers in the last couple of days. Those of you that saw the Barry Manilow video, that's actually picked up quite a lot of people have seen that. So if you've seen that, I hope you very much enjoyed it, as indeed I did the show. Apologies if you've heard the radio show, you would have heard all this bit before. But I went to see Barry Manilow on Monday night in Cardiff. The whole night went perfectly, to be honest. Left here around about 4 o'clock. The journey to Cardiff is about 110 miles from here, and I elected to drive. So I picked up my mate just after 3:30, and off we went along the M4. It seemed a little bit quiet, to be honest, the M4. It wasn't mega busy. On the other hand, we're a little bit too early for the traffic. 3:30, perhaps a little bit too early for the traffic. So we just went straight on that M4. And we didn't really run into any sort of traffic problems at all, fortunately. We got down, we went across the bridge. And I was saying on the radio show, I remember being there before and having to pay to go over the bridge. And we were quite surprised when I crossed the bridge. Where's the toll booths that were here last time? I mean, it must be 5 years ago. Got to be 5 years ago or more since we went there. Where are the toll bridges? And we thought maybe they're a little bit further along the motorway. But then eventually we turned off on the motorway, not to see any toll bridges at all. Then I kind of remembered, hang on a minute, I don't think we paid both ways. The last time I went to Wales and had to go over that bridge, I'm sure I only paid one way, either in or out, but not both. So maybe we get it going out, I thought. Anyway, the last time we went straight in on the M4, and you get over this bridge and sort of getting towards Cardiff, it was chock-a-block, absolutely chock-a-block, right? This time, as we went on along the motorway, we turned left at some point, and we came off the motorway and then started going along where there was water on one side of us, and we're going along like a very heavily industrialised area. And eventually we came to the steelworks. I think Tattoo, something like that. Tattoo Steelworks, which generally, it's enormous, this place. This steelworks is enormous, and there's great big thick pipes and a gantry going over the road, and anything like that frightens me a little bit. Chemicals, nuclear, biological stuff, that all frightens me a bit. I'm a bit scared of fire as well. I mean, over the years, I've worked with a couple of fire eaters with, to be honest, not many clothes on. Okay? Long time ago now. That was back in the 90s. And there was a particular night I used to DJ at, and they had people taking their clothes off. It's all terrible. Don't tell Father Danny. Whatever you do, don't tell. And a couple of them did fire eating. And it's just to frighten the life out of me. To go somewhere. Sometimes I watch these YouTube videos, and they're like making stuff with molten metal and stuff like that, and then you see this bloke come out. He's got some sort of mask on with like a dark visor on it, and thick gloves, and he's got this long stick thing, and then at the other end is like a little, I don't know, like some sort of cup type thing, which is full of molten metal, and they pour it there, and then that goes flat, and then something else starts back. Oh, it frightens the life out of me, anything like that. And driving past this steelworks, thick pipes going over this gantry from one side of the road to the other. And but looking over there, a lot of it seems to be completely derelict. They were huge car parks. It would look like car parks to me. Look like car parks. Huge car parks either side of the road, all of which had a lot of plants and vegetation coming up through the tarmac. Not just a little bit. Great big plants coming out of it. So presumably, a lot of that area is not used. We did see some stuff being used where they had these big things, big baskets full of bits of shiny metal. So I don't know what was going on, but most of it did look completely derelict. So whether or not A lot of that just doesn't work anymore. I seem to remember some years ago now still works in terrible decline here in this country because, of course, the Chinese can do so much more cheaper, can't they? Anyway, so we went along there and didn't really get caught in any traffic at all. Even Cardiff town centre, the doors were due to open at 6:30. We got there at about 6:20, which was great. And we drove straight into the car park, which I'd pre-booked, £23. I got a bit confused there. I literally followed the sat-nav to the thing, and when we booked the car, it says, use this postcode. So I typed that in, and that's where we went. And at the end, where the little... I use Waze as a sat-nav, Waze, which is a free one. You can get that on the on your mobile phone, WAZE. And where the little checkered flag is, that's your end point, you see. And we followed this checkered point right to the car park, and there it says Rapport Car Park. So we went in there. I was a bit worried we were in the wrong one, but everything looked the same, looked right, so that was it. And it was literally over the road from the arena. And already 6:20, there were queues and queues of people waiting to go in there. And I don't know why, because the whole night starts at 7:30. I mean, why you would want to go and sit there, for an hour in numbered seats? It's not like, better get in quickly, because the best seats will be gone. They're all numbered. Okay, so we got there, parked our car, and then Ronnie said, I'll buy you a pizza today. So we went over to this it's like a bit of a covered eating area. I don't know if they had shops in there as well. A bit like a shopping centre, but eating things, right? We went in Zzz's, which is like posh pizza, and he bought us a pizza, and he had a pizza and 2 Coca-Colas. Come to about 30 quid, which, I don't know, I suppose that's about right now. 30 quid for those 2 items. And then from there, we crossed the road. I did have to laugh. We went to as you go in, they scan you, So this really big girl comes over. We go to this big guy. I said, I want to go to her. I was immediately attracted to this particular woman. I don't know why. I thought, I want to be served by her. Funny, isn't it? Do you ever do that when you're out? You specifically want to be served by someone in a supermarket, theatre, or anything like that. As soon as I saw her, I thought, I want to be done by her. Right? So we moved forward. I said, all right, love. She said, hello. She said, anything in your pockets? No, I said, no, my mate says, shall I empty my pockets? She said, oh, I wouldn't worry about that, love. Just open your arms and I'll pat you down with this. So she's patting us down, and then I stand like that. She pats us down like that. She said, she said, I'll make you laugh. There's only one of these things that's working in here. Several of these, tapping things, that they look for, I don't know, guns and stuff like that in case you're going to blow someone up. And she's laughing. She just says, we've only got one that works now. I mean, if that's the security in it, but she was a bubbly lady, ever so nice she was. It reminds me of a time I was in Bangkok airport once. I was on my way to Australia. You either stop at Singapore or Bangkok mainly. I think you could also stop in Dubai and places like that. I stopped at Bangkok airport, and we were changing planes. So you have to get off the plane, take your hand luggage with you, and when you move through the airport, there's a bit where they want to scan your bag again. So I put my bag on this conveyor belt. Strangely enough, I was the only one in there. Maybe I took a wrong route or something. And this bag went through like that. And all of a sudden, because they're tiny little people in Bangkok, they're tiny, tiny people. She's like, like that, like that. And the bloke says, what? So, laptop. And he went, it's okay. And just waved it through. I don't know. Anyway, so we got in there, and I went straight and used the toilet, and then we walked into the arena, which I describe as kind of a large school hall. This place, it's like it's not a theatre. You see, you have to remember these places are not theatres. The best time, and I've been so many times to see Barry Manilow, the best place I've seen him in was the Paris Theatre in Las Vegas. Long time ago now, about 7, 8, 9 years ago now. That was the best place. Because it's a theatre and it's set up to do a show, isn't it? These are arenas. So you could have a show on, you could have a big dance event, anything, So we just got basic, fold-up chairs. So I sat down. Walked right to the front. I had the front row tickets. And I remember when I booked them about three years ago, I booked these tickets, right? And they kept pushing a date back because of the bleeding COVID thing. And so there was A9 and A10, Fab. I didn't really know where they were. I'm not very good at tickets. And eventually we got there and we were right at the front, but right on the very end. Okay? And to be honest, the tickets, the view of the stage was not as good as I thought it would be. But that being said, we're at the front, right in the atmosphere, and it was fine. No complaints, really. I just thought we might be a little bit closer to the middle. You're actually probably better to be in the middle and maybe up to 5 rows back. I wouldn't want to sit past row 5. Then you start going, oh, I can't quite see, someone's sitting in the way and all this business. Although the stage is very high, you could probably see from back there anyway. Right? So there we sat there, and then I asked my mate, oh, do you want a drink? I'm going to go. He said, no, only if you're getting one. I said, well, I'm going to go get another Coke. So I went to them and got another couple of Cokes. £3 each for Coke. For a Coke, £3 each. Mind you, that's not as bad as I saw what someone paid at an Elton John concert the other day. Somewhere, I can't remember where he was now. I think he paid something like £8 or £9 for a sausage roll and and maybe a Coke or maybe a beer. It was, oh no, or was it more than that? It was a lot more than that, actually. He paid a fortune at Elton John concert. And not that Elton's getting that money, because he's not. That goes to the venue, all the drinks prices and all that. So I come back for these, well, I've said 2 Cokes, please. £6, please. So I got my money out. Cash, no cash. Another place that doesn't take cash, you see. So you have to hand over your phone and you click the beep, beep, like that, and it takes £6. While I was standing, I did see the large bag of Maltesers, which I know are about £1.40 in the co-op. How much are the Maltesers, mate? Oh, they're £3. No, I won't bother with those. So I didn't bother with those, I don't like to be ripped off. Don't sit there telling me I'm too tight or life is too short. I don't like to be ripped off, and that's it. Which happens every time now you fill up with petrol. What's it where you are now? 191 around here. 191. God. Anyway, so I come back with our 2 Cokes, put them on the ground, and a few of the Manilow girls, who I know very well, came over and said hello. I've just happened to be sitting next to Rachel, which I didn't realise. She's a very, very good friend of mine, Rachel. There's Anne Taplin. She was in the middle. These are proper Manilow Fanilows, right? They go to all the concerts. Not just one, all of them. They will go to London. They will go here. They're probably in Newcastle tonight. Another very good friend of mine, Carla, came over. She's from Holland. I had a little bit of a chat, and while I was at the end, and another friend of mine, Tim, who wanted to meet me, who knows me off the internet, Tim Beckett as well. So we had our photo taken. You may have seen it on my Facebook. I've got Facebook, incidentally, if you want to join us on there. Facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK is where you can find my Facebook there. Okay. So did that, and thanks very much for your messages coming in. I'll come to those in a moment, my darling. All right. So we did that, and then we got talking to 2 of the security ladies, who were both wonderful as well. Nice, good old chat with them. I said, "Oh, there won't be anything for you 2 to do tonight." Yeah, it's not like there's loads of kids there. As mentioned in the Telegraph, the Barry Manilow concerts are like an old age pensioners' home large karaoke night. It's true. That's not wrong. We love it. We love it. We love it. And then after a while, we're just talking to another one of my friends, and she come running up. All right. She said, just let you know, it's up to you, but show's about to start now. If you want to sit down, or you can talk for another couple of minutes, might want to get yourself comfortable. I said, it's all right. Thanks very much for letting us know. So I ran back to the seat, and then the curtains opened, and first we had Curtis Steiger. I'm sure you know Curtis Steiger. He sung a few hits. And then Barry came on a little bit later than he does normally, right about 9:15, which was quite late for him to start. But I think the bloke before him, Curtis Steiger, run over by about 10 minutes, so maybe that's why. And the show came on and everyone was happy, absolutely fantastic night. Fantastic night. We had as well as being able to see, we could see him quite clearly, from the stage. I'd just like to be a bit closer. But we did have a very large screen in front of us, and that was always close up on him, but I don't know who was working with the camera. I kind of wonder if he had bleeding Parkinson's disease, you know, because the camera kept shaking all the time. God, blimey. All right, mate, keep it still. Every time they went for a close-up, this camera was shaking like that. Whether he was on, I don't know, like a platform, and there were other people sitting on the same platform, and they started jiggling around and moving, I don't know. But the picture wasn't stable all the time, but it was watchable. So you kind of flick between that picture, which was close-ups of him, you know, and the stage. And I had my camera, and I'd done a few clips. They don't like you to record long songs or anything like that. You start getting into all sorts of copyright trouble with all that business. But I managed to put together a few clips, and I made a video out of them, as most of you have seen on here. Okay, it's on my list of videos there. Then after the show, one of the security ladies, she had a beautiful Welsh accent she had. She said, "I'm sure I know you." She says, "Have you been a DJ somewhere or something like that?" I said, "Yes, I worked at the Black Cat for 18 years, a place in Clapham for 18 years, and various other places all over, really. Leeds I've done." I said to her, but I was mainly an 80s and 90s DJ. That was my period of DJing. Then into the 2000s, I carried on into 2000s. Now I just do karaoke. She said, that must be it then. She says, because I used to DJ at Club X in Cardiff, which was a gay nightclub. I don't know if it's still around, actually, Club X in Cardiff. And so I said, yeah, that must be it then, something to do with the DJing or something like that. So that was quite nice. So we had a little bit of a giggle with her. And then we were on our way, and we got back into the car in the NCP car park. Drove out, no problem at all. We went back, I think, the same route as which we came. Really, not going on. I think we probably joined the motorway a bit earlier than we did coming in, which was of course completely clear. Once again, we crossed over the bridge, no toll or anything like that to pay. In fact, Vera, who listens to the show in the morning and does a bit of research, she looked it up as well as someone else, and she was saying that apparently the charges were dropped some years ago when the bridge has been paid for, you know, which is fair enough, isn't it? So we drove about an hour and a half, then we stopped at a BP garage because we were quite hungry. And I got, they had like a Greggs in there, you know, so I had a vegan sausage roll and a vegan baked bean and sausage pasty and a bag of crisps. I can't remember what he had, and a cup of tea. But mine was stone cold. He said, "I'm really sorry." He said, "They're not warm in any way, shape or form." I said, "That's all right. I'm sure they'll be all right." And actually they were. You know, it would be nice to have been at least a little bit warm. They were stone cold. So I drove home eating those, and we got back here around about 1:20. Didn't rush there or rush back because, as you know, I give plenty of time, 50 to 50 mile an hour, 55 mile an hour, all the way there and all the way back as well. And I actually, on my sat nav, it told me I'd be there at 5 to 6. Now remember, I told you there was no traffic at all. I beg your pardon, 6:05 it told me when I left here, and we actually arrived at 20 past, right? So I saved all that fuel, and it's only taken another 15 minutes to do 100 miles, so very pleased about that, really. Fantastic night. Uploaded the video, that went a little bit mad, and I think it's about 1,300 people have watched that now. If only I had the same watching this show. But of course, if you saw the Barry Manilow video from Monday night, you would have noticed the little advert at the end for both this show and the radio show. I thought, well, we might pick up a few more new people here. Indeed, if you are new this evening, a very good evening to you. Do feel free to send us a message. There is a chat box, not to everyone's cup of tea, the chat box. Gets a little bit mouthy in there sometimes. If you don't want to be in there, you can send me a text if you want to that text number up there in the top left-hand corner, 07451 287 337. That comes straight to me and no one else sees it other than me, all right? If you ever want to see anything private, you don't want something read out, please put, "Do not read this out." You know, "Hi, I'm Daniel. I'd like to send you £500,000, and that will be fine, you know, and it will be our secret. No one will know that you've sent me all that money, except we might upgrade the studio a little bit. All right? Okie doke, so that was my night on Monday. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if we've got any Manilow people here. Let's read a few of your messages. Text coming in this evening. Hello to George Bond. Evening, George, who says live Melbourne studio in War, Berkshire. Are you? Oh, I know what you're doing. You're using predictive texting. Always make sure you read the message before you send it. Otherwise, like yours, it don't make sense. I know exactly what you're saying. Live from the Mirable Studios in Royal Berkshire. What's come through is live Melbourne studio in War, Berkshire. This is Chris Live. Check your messages first. Hello to John Paris. Good evening, John, who says nice clip of Barry Manilow. Same as the Newcastle venue where he is. Is he there tonight? I think he's there in Newcastle tonight. A lot of the Manilow girls have gone up there tonight. I think he does on, off, on, off, on, off. I mean, if you did that every night, you'd be knackered, wouldn't you? 79 years old he is. You know, I hope I'm still jumping around on the stage at 79, because I can't bear the thought of sitting at home doing nothing, sitting there watching the telly. Just bores me to tears, that. But that's why I didn't move to Lincolnshire. I'd be sitting at home watching the bleeding telly most of the time. I know it. Bored to tears. Nothing to do, you see. That's what you get from working at nights all those years. It's difficult to get out of it, really. Very good evening to Steve in Dagenham, who's loving the jacket and shorts. Yeah, we're in shorts tonight. It's quite warm. It's very warm. I got very warm doing my latest DIY disaster. No, there isn't a video. What, you're wondering what, aren't you? Oh, I might have time to tell you later. If not, maybe on the next show. Good evening to our very good friend Shania. Evening, Shania. Head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. Evening. And all altar servers all over the country. I'm now elevating your position, Shania. We've been doing that recently, elevating a few people to new positions. Dan Woodhouse is at the moment head of trains. He's head of trains. Not a lot for him to do. Yesterday he was there. Eh? We don't want to drive our trains today, and we want some more money. All right, then, don't matter. I don't think they had the effect they wanted to have, though. I really don't, because of course, during the whole COVID thing, people get used to doing. I mean, I've never done a Zoom call, never done one. I know Shania does it. She does Zoom calls, don't you, Shania? And stuff like that, and people got webcams and microphones and started being able to do their work at home. You know, even the estate agent that rents out my properties, they never closed. They all started working from home. Presumably they send them a little bit of kit or something like that, and then they can just work from home on their computers. Look at the BBC and Sky and all that now. How many times do they now send a recording crew round to someone's house? They don't. I think they probably send them a little webcam and a microphone. I mean, I don't know this. Well, I'm just assuming they send them a little webcam and a microphone in the post if they don't have one, or maybe on a bike, and they plug it all into their stuff, following instructions, and then they just interview them like that, and presumably they have to send a lot back again after that. Very easy. I don't know how they work that. I don't think it's over Skype. You know, I think they probably got a little program that they install on people's computers, and then they got the two-way thing going there, because Skype, sometimes that doesn't work too well on the video, does it? We don't do Skype video calls in here. I know some of you are used to seeing some of the YouTube lives with various people in different corners of the screen. I find that very off-putting. Yeah, what tends to happen a lot of the time is that everyone starts talking amongst each other and there's nothing of anything interest being said. Is a bit like this show, except there's only me being uninteresting rather than 9 different people being uninteresting, which of course is much worse, isn't it? Oh, stop it. Very good evening to Maureen. Evening, Maureen. She enjoyed the Barry Manilow video. Have you been to any concerts, Maureen? What have you been to see? Other than karaoke concerts. Don't be coming and telling me that you went to see Roy's concert, because that's just a karaoke song. Or DJ Chris Cross's concert. He must be terrified. They got polio now, haven't they? Chris worries terribly about diseases that keep appearing in the news. I think yesterday we saw TB. TB is on the rise. Today it's polio, and of course we're still dealing with the monkeypox and the COVID at the moment. when I'm waiting. I think I've got the most terrible disease on one of my toenails. You know, it's gone all white again. That keeps happening. It's all to do with the swimming. Is that spreading? If I tell Chris like that, he won't come near me, Maureen. You know, he'll have several pairs of gloves on, dear, before he shakes my hand, won't he? He'll be putting on all these masks when he comes near me. Oh my God, he's got an infected toe. Evening, Maureen. Hello to Gary Ross. Good evening to you, Gary. I hope you're well on this evening over there in Northern Ireland. And a very good evening to someone who says, don't read out. Thank you very much. Very kind of you to send that message, my darling. Thank you very much. I haven't read. Your name will be secret. Queen Elizabeth. Oh, stop! Oh, I said your name. I'm sorry, Liz. I'm sorry. She's not supposed to let people know that she watches the show. Queen Elizabeth, Her Royal Majesty Highness. There you go. She's up there on the wall. Hang on, where is it? 1, 2. Is it that one? Yeah, just about. There she is. Can you see her? Keeping an eye on you. Yes. Do you think Harry's got one of those up on his wall anymore? Just incidentally, gang, if you don't want to use the chat box and you don't want to use the text number, if you're outside the UK, the text number may not work. Okay, you can still send an email that will come straight into my little email box, which I shall open in front of me shortly. All right. So the text number 07451 287 337 is the text number. Over in the chat box, let's see if there's anyone saying anything of any interest whatsoever in the chat box. Let's just do a few names. Hello to Dan Woodhouse. Good evening, Dan. I gather you've become one of my very, very good friends, Ross Patzel's regular Tuesday night callers. And last night you were discussing Thai brides. Is that right? Are you going to try and save up for one of those? Are you going to try and save up for a Thai bride? One of my very, very good friends, David Rosen. He married a Thai girl. He was gay. He was gay from a little boy all the way through into his 40s. Right? And I think it was either late 40s or early 50s. He took a holiday to Thailand. Right? And he was in this hotel, told me all about his holiday in Thailand and all that business. And he became friends with the girl who was on reception in the hotel. And as the time went on, they became more and more friendly. Eventually, he took her out on a couple of dates. He ended up marrying her. And I don't mean a lady boy, a proper woman. He married her and brought her back. He lost a very good friend who told him he shouldn't be doing that. You know, how can he possibly fancy a woman because he's gay? You see, I don't go along with that. I don't think you fall in love with what someone is, but who they are. Yeah? Who knows? There might be a beautiful lady comes round the corner tomorrow and I might fall in love with her and she might fall in love with me. Unlikely, I suppose. Yes, I'll give you that, and I can't see it in my head, but that could happen. You fall in love with someone, not necessarily whether it's that or that or that. You just connect in your heads. I hope one day to connect with anyone, to be honest. I mean, I seem to connect more with cats more than other people. Beautiful little kitten came over to me the other night. Oh. It's a bit late. Just a moment. There's a person at my front. One moment, please. Let me just check the security cameras going on here. Who's that there? Oh, it's okay. It's my very good friend, the neighbour next door. That's okay. Yeah, I think you fall in love with a person. I don't believe you know. Oh, I fancy that girl. Oh, I fancy that. Oh, that boy's quite nice. Anyway, it works the other way for David. You know, he fell in love with a girl in Thailand, and he brought her back and married her. She already had a couple of children, and they had their own child, who I went to his bar mitzvah about 3 or 4 years ago now. I'd never been to a Jewish bar mitzvah thing. It's like a coming of age thing for the boys, and I went to that, and it was fantastic. So, see, you know, you never know, Dan. You know, I don't know if you're into football at all, Dan, but you could be watching football the other day, and what's his name? Dalglish, what's that very good-looking footballer's name? He's got funny, like floppy hair. You might fall in love with him. You know. Oh, I won't. I'm straight. Yeah, if you say so. You know, some people pretend to be gay friendly, but when they start talking, you realise, nah, you really don't like that, do you? There's a couple of people I know like that. Let me tell you that. So hello to Dan Woodhouse. Will you be calling in tonight, Dan? And Fran Green's there. Good evening, Fran Green. Welcome along to our little show. Brew and a bit. Rick Shaw is there. Evening. My mum loves Barry. Oh, looks like we made it. Oh, you just cry. You cry and you laugh and you dance. It's fantastic. It's just like one big pensioners' party. Except the difference is, there's never any trouble. All these security people are walking around, nothing to do. What do you think's going to happen? The worst that can possibly happen is that someone might have a heart attack while they're dancing and pass out. There was like one lady sitting a couple of chairs away from us. I didn't notice her, but my mate, he said, did you see the lady in the chair? She just kept crying all the time. But they're tears of like happiness, tears of happiness. Good evening to Mr. Jack. Evening to Mr. Jack there. I thought literally everyone used Google Maps. Is the one you used more accurate then? Mr. Jack, it's the traffic thing I use. I'll show you the thing. Now, I believe Waze, which is the one I use... One minute. Where's Waze there? I never find things on this damn phone. Where is it, love? Oh, I'll have to. If I type in Waze, it'll find it. W-A. There is. So there is Waze. It's that little blue one, yeah. And so you open it up. There we are. Waze. There we go. And if I type in that, I've just clicked work, and it'll find. There you go. So if I was to go to work now,
time on this route is similar to M3.
1 hour and 14 minutes, and it comes out.
500 feet.
All right, calm down. All right, calm down. And if I type it in, it will try and route me around the traffic and all that. I gather Waze is actually owned by Google now, Google Maps, or just Google, but they work differently somehow. I'm not quite sure how that is. I'll be honest with you, I've never actually tried Google Maps to go around with, so maybe that would be something for me to try. Thank you, Mr. Jack. Good evening to Gary Butler's in the house. Evening to Project Man. Evening to you, sir. And the Dark Side is there. Good evening to the Dark Side, who's there. And one more message. Hello to Noah. Hello to Noah. Good evening, Noah. Welcome to the show. I've just eaten a whole tub of triple chocolate ice cream. Oh. He says, I've made space in the freezer. Well, you won't need the space now if you've just eaten it, would you? I don't like ice cream that's too chocolatey. Generally, I'll buy the ice cream in Aldi. They do a very similar Ben & Jerry's, but their own brand. The Ben & Jerry's ice cream is just silly money. I know the last time I looked in a co-op, a tub of Ben & Jerry's, say, for example, cookie dough, it was like £5.50. I'm not... Do you spend that on ice cream? £5.50, Noah. That's a lot of money. But I'll go into Aldi, and last time I bought ice cream, very similar to Ben & Jerry's, same shape tub, same sort of pictures on the front. I think it was £1.80 or even £1.50 or £1.49, something like that. Much cheaper. I won't spend money on stuff like that if it's much more expensive than that. Okay. Alrighty. In our show today, here's a question for you. Here's a question: Have you ever done anything that's really dangerous? To have fun. To have fun. We often see stories, don't we, of people potholing. What's potholing? Well, it's like you go down little holes. They're like caves, but much smaller. You got to crawl through them. Yeah, I'm a bit funny going into a cave, to be honest. What if it all collapses on top of you? Seriously, that's how I think. It's like when I climb up places. I mean, not exactly a dangerous thing to do, but climbing up the Empire State Building. Or that one in France, what's it called? The Eiffel Tower in France. Now, I went there, 20 years ago now was the last time I went there. And I went up the leg of this thing. I can't remember if you had to pay to get. I'm sure you probably have to pay to get in. So you went up the leg of this thing, and there's the first platform. And then my friend who I was with at the time, Mark was his name. He said, "Do you want to go up? Shall we go up further? You know, because you can get. I think it's a lift to go up to the top." No, thank you. I'm quite happy here. Thank you very much. Oh, he said, "Oh, go on." I said, "No, you go up the top if you want to. I'm quite happy here, walking around." You know, knowing full well that even if you fell off that platform, you'd be dead by the time you get down to the bottom. I don't like heights. I don't like fire or heights. I don't like much, actually, to be honest. I don't know why I've bothered to still exist. So there's that. And the pothole type things, that's where you climb into these little holes, right? And you've got to be clever. You can't just climb into it, especially if you're near water. You can't just climb into these holes. You need to know when the tide's coming in, mate. Because if you're in that hole so far in, and I don't know how far in they go, they don't just go in the hole and then, it's pretty, they run, come back out there. No, they crawl along for I don't know how far. Miles, maybe? I don't know. And you couldn't get very far if you were crawling all the time. And presumably, there are some bits where suddenly it widens up and you can stand up. Not my idea of fun, that. I would consider that dangerous. As is perhaps skiing. Just going back to the potholes, you need to know when the sea's going to come in, because those holes, the water goes straight down the holes. Guess who's down there? And there's about to drown. Do you remember those Taiwanese boys? Weren't they on some sort of school trip or something? And the water came in, and they got them out. I remember they got them out, but they had to hold their breath going under this water and all this. Terrible, terrible. How is that fun, taking that danger? Roller coasters, extremely dangerous. Don't go on one. You go flying off the end. Anyone who's up in Blackpool or anything like that, off their heads, mate, going on those things, tearing along at 200 mile an hour. 55 mile an hour maximum on the motorway, I am. Huh? Skiing. If it's not bad enough following, the proper routes, some people go off-piste. They decide to go off on their own. Crazy. So I'm wondering, have you done anything dangerous like that at all? What exciting things have you done in your sad, lonely, pathetic lives to make it less sad, less lonely and less pathetic by doing something dangerous? Have you got a story to tell me? If not, why not call in? There you go, there's my phone number. Do you do anything dangerous that you'd like to talk to me about tonight? Recreation-wise, give us a call. If you're going to call in, you need to send your phone number. I don't answer undisclosed numbers or withheld numbers, okay? We've learnt over the years that most of those just put the phone straight down or shout some sort of abuse. So you must send your number if you're going to call in, all right? Withheld numbers, completely ignored. If you could call 10 times on that same withheld number, it's not going to be answered. You're wasting your finger dialing the number, okay? But I'd love to hear if you've ever done anything dangerous like that. Vera has sent in an email here. Good evening, Vera. And she says, skiing. She's a skier. Yes, skiing. I've been skiing for 7 years, but haven't done it now for quite a few years. But during the time when I was skiing, I nearly lost my life 5 times on the ski slopes. And you went back. She went back after number 1. She goes on to say, did it ever stop me from going back? No. I love the thrill of it. Going down the most dangerous and difficult mountains, the Black Run, and reaching the bottom in one piece. Of course, you have a huge advantage, Vera, over most of us. Because if you get lost, you are black. And therefore, you will show up on the white snow. Whereas I won't. So that isn't... Well, I might actually, because I'm quite brown at the moment, as you can see. I only need like 10 minutes of sun, the earliest spring. As soon as that sun comes out, boom, I'm brown. There's a white bit of paper here. Look at the paper and look at my face. Yeah, look at the face. Oh, you know what that is, do you? That's the bill from the accountant. £1,850. Oh dear. Anyway, back to this story. She says, I love the thrill of going down the most dangerous and difficult mountains, which is the Black Run, and reaching the bottom in one piece. Do you go off-piste at all, I wonder? That's not the Black... So the Black Run, that's a dedicated route, right? Okay? As far as I know, right? Off-piste is not even on that. You go off and you do your own thing. She says, the accidents I've had were never my fault. Oh, you sound like my mate driving now. It's not my fault. Wasn't my fault. Not my fault. Someone else's fault. You sound like that. You sound like a driver, Vera. The last accident I had was when I was in Italy. Ciao Bella! With my cousin from America who was a beginner. And his best friend, an expert skier like myself. I love doing the moguls. I don't know what that is, the moguls. Is that a place? The speed you can get is incredible. Anyway, there I was, coming down the mountain. I was coming down the mountain when she comes. You'll be coming down the mountain when she comes. Stand by, George. I'll be with you in a moment. She says, I was coming down the mountain and somehow I run out of moguls. I don't know what moguls are. She says, and there in front of me was a massive crater. You could have been on the moon and not known about it, my love. No time to go anywhere else but up. And it wasn't marked out at all to warn you. So I went up in the air. Oh my God, what, like whoosh, like that. Like James Bond did in that film. Da-da, 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 da-da. How exciting. She flew. You flew. Blimey. She went up in the air, closed my eyes and prayed to God. What prayer did you do? Did you do the Our Father? The I believe? The I confess? The Gloria? See, please be more specific with your prayerings. Perhaps you could have sung a hymn as well, you know. To the Blessed Mary Virgin Mother of God. Hail, Reardon, or so Immaculate Mary, our hearts are on fire. I am very cold and I hope I land flat. Words like that. You could have made up your own words. She wouldn't have minded. She goes on to say, she closed her eyes and prayed to God, then splat. I laid there for a few seconds thinking that I must have broken something. I moved my head slowly first and then the rest of my body. I was okay, but my skis and poles were flying in different directions. Meanwhile, my cousin was behind me. I closed my eyes and then splat! He went down in a heap and I shouted out, while you're there, can you get my skis and poles, please? Let's just say I've never heard swear words like the ones he came out with, and he wasn't happy with me for the rest of the trip. And he point blank refused to follow me down the slopes after that. I had no idea you was a professional skier, Vera. That's amazing, darling. Isn't it funny you find things out about people that that you didn't know, innit, eh? Thank you, Vera. Thank you very much, Vera, for letting us know that. That's amazing. We've got to call George is on the line. Good evening, George. No, he's not there. Okay. He's gone. Couldn't be bothered to wait. Text from Noah. That's a lovely name, Noah. Where are you, by the way, Noah? What part of the world are you in? I did something fun and dangerous. I told my ex-girlfriend to find a man who strokes your hair and say how soft it is and won't mind that it's on your legs. The Mediterranean ladies have a lot of hair, don't they, coming out their arms and all that business. I've got no hair even on my chest, look. Let me just remove the phone number so you can get a good look at my chest. There you go. Look, there's no hair on my chest. I don't shave it off or anything. It just never grew. Funny, isn't it? Some people just don't get hairy, do they? Stephen Dagenham says, I tried making Gary and Sharon's homemade coleslaw today. Lovely. Oh, my sister does make a lovely coleslaw. Well, they can all cook. My sister, my nephew's husband, my niece, she can cook. I don't know about Jimmy's girlfriend. I don't know if she cooks or not, actually. Jimmy's girlfriend, my other nephew. By the way, the baby's doing very well. Baby Frank, he'll be coming up to a year old, I suppose, soon. Or is he a year old? I can't remember his birthday now. Baby Frank. Anyone else talking about this subject? It's PJ Mecca. Paul McIlroy is in the house. In the house. In the place to be. Paul McIlroy from Flex FM. Ba 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 ba. Paul McIlroy. Da 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 da. Flex FM from Roehampton. From our studios in the Point Blocks in Roehampton. With views, far-reaching views of Richmond Park. You lucky git. Evening to you. Let's just scrolling up here. Anyone else done anything sort of dangerous at all like that? It's Daniel Woodhouse calling on line 16. Good evening, Dan. Dan? Dan, can't hear you. Oh, there he is again. I don't know what he was doing then. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dan. What happened the first
I'm actually
time?
here.
The telephone failed. It was a failure. A little bit like my life. A failure. Complete and utter failure.
Oh, no, there's worse failures out there than you, Chris.
Is there really?
Oh, see, you've only just got to step into somewhere like Asda at Romford and you'll find a ton of them.
I got to
just
say...
look out my own window every day, going past and go, oh, God, it's not him again, is it? Oh, not that one. Oh.
I know what you mean. The Asda in Boston's exactly the same. There's some very dodgy people walking around in there. Really dodgy looking people. I don't know if they pay for anything.
London.
Huh?
And that's outside the London region. Oh,
Yeah, outside the London weekend television area. Blah, blah. Now, I believe you've got a little bit of a fan in the form of Ross Patzelt, my friend.
Yeah, we've been having a chat last night.
Yes.
I think it all started about when he said what he was going to do after the show.
Yeah.
And he went, and I suppose he went, I'll probably go and make love. And I thought, oh well.
What, to
lucky for you? No, I thought lucky for you. At least you've got the facility.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, yes.
As in a woman.
Eh?
As in a woman.
Oh, right. Carry on. Yes.
Yes. I'm actually listening, at this list of ingredients that you need for a good night of passion.
A night of passion? Have you ever had a night of passion?
Ingredient.
Have you ever had a night of passion? No.
Not in my own home. No.
No. Well, it's early days, so you wouldn't like to upset your mum by bringing anyone back, would you, my love?
Well, if it was in my own flat, then that'd be different.
Dan.
I've always said though, knowing my mum, she'd probably spend a whole week. She'd probably not phone me for a whole week, and then the bloody night I get a girl back, and we start having a way with each other. Suddenly the phone would go. I look. Oh God, it's the mother.
I think we're pushing this a little bit.
She would phone. She'd phone when you got a girl back.
Well,
That's what my mum would do.
If you don't mind me saying, I think we're pushing the content of this programme tonight with some of your comments coming out so far. Having your way with someone, I must say.
How else can I put it?
What?
How else can I put it?
Well, I don't know.
Interlude?
Think of something a little bit. There are Catholics listening to this programme. There are Catholics listening to this programme, my love.
You sure that they're Catholics or Catholics?
What?
And
I hope you're not suggesting that all Catholic priests are alcoholics.
No, Catholics.
None of them turn down a bottle of whiskey, do they?
No, I mean people who like cat. Cataholics.
Cataholics. Well, as I say, yes, Ross is a bit of a fan of your phone calls.
Oh, right. I hope he's listening to this one then.
I don't know what he does on Wednesday nights, actually. I've no idea.
Yeah,
what he does
he's probably driving his lorry for that supermarket.
Oh, it's not a lorry. That's not a lorry. It's a little van. He ain't got a lorry. Gary Ross does the lorries. I think it's Gary. Gary does the lorries.
Then.
Eh?
Vehicle.
Yeah. Vehicle.
Yeah, for that supermarket company that he works for that will not be mentioned by me.
So tell us, have you ever done anything sort of dangerous on holiday or anything like that?
Dangerous on holiday?
Whitewater rafting, perhaps. I can't quite see you doing that, perhaps, or maybe.
No, I don't think I've ever. No, not really quite on holiday. I mean, if you call if you count up in the railings at Mercury Gardens, Romford, just to get into Asda, because you was a bit scared to go down the subway. If you count that as dangerous, then that's probably about the level that I've got.
What
to,
happens down the subway then?
Oh, it's just that sometimes, you just look at it a bit late night and you think, no, I don't
Oh, really?
No.
Is that right? Oh, what's the address of that then, please? What's the address of that subway?
No, I don't know. I mean, it just depends, really.
Well, I'm not doing anything later. I might pop down and have a look,
Yeah, yeah, it's just this Mercury Gardens, Romford.
Mercury
it's just a
Gardens,
bit of the Asda or Mercury House end.
And what's the best time to go round there and something to possibly happen?
Oh, about 11, midnight,
About half 11, thanks very much. So I finish the show at around about
normally,
10. This is about an hour and a half. Right, carry on, yes.
Right. Yeah, there's normally just some discarded supermarket carts.
Oh, are they all under there drinking and smoking them funny cigarettes? I don't like them.
Well, no, we don't have much of the way of marijuana in Romford.
No.
It's Stratford is where you want to go.
What is it in Romford? More like heroin, is it? And meths. Was it called meth?
I think what happens, drugs probably do happen in Romford. It's just that everyone's good at hiding them.
Yes.
Whereas in Stratford, they'll just be the moment you step outside Stratford Station, you can smell the marijuana for miles.
No, it's not
it's all around Stratford stinks of marijuana.
I really don't like that smell. One of my friends, my friend, Ronnie, he used to live in a flat, and the bloke below him used to smoke it, and it would come up through his floorboards. He said it was awful. And of course eventually, just like cigarette smoke, I suppose, it gets into your carpet and you just can't get rid of the smell.
Yeah.
Can I just read these couple of messages out here?
Please do, yes.
From Danny in Dagenham. Hello, Danny.
Dagenham Dan, yeah.
Danny in Dagenham. My mum has a habit of giving guests paper party plates to save the washing up. The only problem now is that when there isn't any guest, she still tries to give us paper plates. Have you tried wasting? Have you tried wasting a lasagna off a paper plate? It doesn't work. You mean eating a lasagna off a paper plate? Does it work? What's your opinions on this laziness? Well, it must be costing a bleating fortune in paper plates. It's a lot cheaper to have a china plate and wash it up. Blimey. Yeah. She must have money to burn, Danny. I'd put in for some more money, mate. Get her to give you some more money. And just one more, Noah, who's in Alderney Edge, Cheshire. Oh, my aunt used to live in Cheshire, Nantwich.
Oh, Noah.
Auntie Brenda. Auntie Brenda used to live in Nantwich in Cheshire. She lives in Tring. Well, she was supposed to live in Tring, but she's staying with her family at the moment. I don't think she's going to move back to her house. I don't think she wants to. She's very lonely there. Anyway, Noah lives in Cheshire, Alderney, with my sister Heather Spoons and Tina Collada. Heather Spoons and Tina Collada. Tina Collada. We went to a nice restaurant called Four Candles in a place called Hilton Le Clay.
You sure it was Four Candles?
Four Candles.
It wasn't Four Candles.
Like on the Two Ronnies. Fabulous menu that caters for everybody, including people that are letter something OS intolerant. I don't know what that is. Is that something OS intolerant? I don't know what that is. Anyway, carry on, Dan. Sorry, carry on.
The platey thing that was just mentioned. Yeah, if you want to, the best thing to do if you want to save on the washing up is actually line your plates with a cartouche of greaseproof paper.
Oh, I wouldn't thought of that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Then you can use the plates. Then you won't even have to wash up.
Yeah, and you remember how to make a cartouche because I did show you once.
A what?
A cartouche.
A cartouche? What's that then?
Well, it's how you turn a square of greaseproof paper into a circle without even actually cutting it into a circle. What you do is you take that square of greaseproof, fold the square into a rectangle, fold the rectangle into then a smaller square, so you've now folded it into 4/4, and then fold the square into an what's it called? Scaling triangle. That's it. No, hang on. Fucking hell, I've forgotten what it. I've gone from square, rectangle, square. Fold that into an isosceles triangle.
A what?
A nice isosceles triangle.
Oh, what's that then? What's an
with,
isosceles
That's
triangle?
one with two
I know
sides.
what
It
that
looks
is.
like an ice cream cone shape. And then you fold that into another triangle, and then rip the top off, and then you'll have a circle of greaseproof paper to either line your plates or line your frying pan if you haven't got a lid for it. And that's how you make one.
And you go through all that just to get a circle of greaseproof paper out?
Yeah, that's what we was taught at college. That's what
Why
we was
don't
taught
you
at
just
college.
cut
If
the
you're-
circle freehand? Doesn't have to be accurate, does it?
Well, you could. It's the thing what chefs
All
do.
that
They
piss
all-
arsing about to get a perfect circle when you're
Yeah,
about to
well,
eat a
it's
meal
only-
off
it's
it.
only square
When
to
you're about to
rectangle
shut
to
up a
square.
minute, when you're about to eat a meal off it and then chuck it away afterwards, what's the point of that? You
Oh,
must
well, I
have
could have it done
so
in
much
30
time
seconds.
in your life to come out with some of this stuff.
I can do that in 30 seconds. 30
Wow.
seconds flat, I can do it. Whip, job off, done.
Okay, carry on.
I am known for my efficiency, in
Yes.
certain areas, Chris. Yeah.
Oh yes.
More than can be said for some. For some people, the most easiest possible things in life. I saw someone today again holding the queue up in Asda, and I'm waiting there for my stamps.
What stamps?
And I needed a couple of stamps for my couple of letters. I've got a
All right.
couple of form filling.
What were they? More benefit
renewals.
forms you have to send in, was it?
Yeah, more of
Yes.
the old, tax credits and benefit. check
Carry
things
on,
and
dear.
whatever.
Carry on.
And he was there. I think he looked like to me like he was getting like a 60p refund just for a bit of cake that he didn't agree with him. And I thought, who worries about 60p? If you don't like it, you just say, right, that's it. Throw it away. I'm never going to buy that again.
Well,
But he looked like the sort of bloke that would do that.
my mum would say, my mum was always getting refunds and things like that, and she would say, I'm owed that money. Why should they have it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends, like.
I must
I mean,
say,
if
if I
it's like-
bought something and I really didn't like it, or I thought there was something wrong with it, I must say I'd probably just chuck it away. But then again, I can kind of afford to do that. Maybe that person was extremely poor. You don't know these things, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, sometimes there are people out there who are extremely poor. There's poor and there's poor. I mean, these people that, I've had to cancel my Sky subscription. We can't afford it anymore. We're really poor. No, you're not. Have you still got something to eat? Can you still heat the house? Can you wash up? Have you got, all this? That's not poor. Poor, and there's loads of them out there. Poor is when they go out and they can't go to the shop until 9 o'clock until things end up in the reduced two basket. That's poor. They're poor. These people going to food banks, and I'm sure some of them aren't poor, really. They just want free food. But there are people that go to food banks. They can't afford even to buy food for themselves. That is poor. Maybe that person was very poor.
Yeah.
And I hope I never get to that. I really hope, and I hope you never get to that. But it's a terrible, terrible thing in this world. As it's certainly in rich countries like this one, where there are people walking around who can't afford some food. Terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, what's that one about? No, it can't be, can it? No, sorry, I'm getting confused now. What else have you put on the menu tonight, Chris?
On the menu? Well, I had a nice
'Cause I can't
pizza.
sleep.
Funnily enough, say on the...
No, I meant the show menu, not the edible one.
Well, haven't you done your research? If you was Vera, she would know what's on that menu. How
I
rude!
can't see it at the moment. I haven't got the computer
Well,
on.
surely
and my phone's in.
before the show starts, you have had a quick flick through that and prepared something to say to the millions of viewers who tune into this show every week. Alex
Well, I think you
Belfield,
had,
Alex Belfield can only dream of the amount of people that are watching this show.
Yeah, 8. Well, that's the last count that I had about 10 minutes ago.
Is it?
Yeah, that was the last count. There was only really just me, Gary Ross, and Jason Hughes, and your two blue Banner people.
Blue Peter viewers.
Yeah. I always wondered they'd do a show one day called Blue Daniel.
Blue Daniel.
Yeah, that would just be a show of me swearing.
Yeah, you do that quite a lot, don't you? I've noticed that.
I am known for the few expletives that do come out. They could be. You've not seen me when I am in absolute, in need of anger management type mood. I get,
do you get very
managed
angry,
to keep it quiet. I managed to keep good decorum for this show, but there are just times when if I really wanted to have the biggest rant of all about something, I will do it. And I mean, it's like last week I had this thing that I suddenly realised on the train home last week. I thought, I've realised why the British are actually why people are the way they are.
Why is that then?
Well, loads of things, but there's just one general reason why. It's because this thing of being British, people are just too tolerant. People tolerate things that perhaps in real truth they shouldn't tolerate, really.
Well, sometimes it's easier to just walk off.
Yeah. But, it's easy to walk away from something, but other things, people just, I look at these certain things and I think, oh, God, why are you okay with it? It's just not right. You just shouldn't be like...
People start shouting their heads off, I just walk off, I can't be bothered with them.
It's like these train strikes. Well, why do we tolerate them,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to miss my... Saturday night, I could be missing my special two-thirds... Well, let's say more than half-price bingo.
Right.
That's Saturday night. I could be missing that, and... they got a great deal on, and I'm going to bloody miss it all just for the sake of a few train drivers.
Yes.
Yeah, what do they do these days, really? Most of the time, the train drives itself, if it's...
Well, I did kind of wonder that, yeah. I mean, in America, I know, and the Docklands Light Railways, there's no train drivers on there, is there?
Yeah, it's just, on the Underground, it's a case of...
I don't think it would take too much to, in fact, to connect the trains by computers to some sort of central working computer, and that's it. I mean, it would probably be more efficient, to be honest.
Yeah, the driver just presses doors open, doors close.
Yeah, when I say to you, I don't think that would be too much trouble. In fact, I'm 100% sure that they can do that now. I'm sure they can. It'd take a little while, but they could just put all these gadgets on the trains, they'd drive themselves, and that'd be fine. And they'd be safer as well.
Yeah. Do you want me to end on death?
On death?
You mentioned it, since you mentioned it right at the top of the list.
Are you going to die now? Please don't commit suicide while you're on the phone to me.
I'm not proposing to.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
I'm just thinking, how do you want to make death a bit more enjoyable?
Oh, yes, you're referring to the menu, aren't you? Because one of the things in my menu today was, how can we make crematorium services more fun? And I asked that question because I've been to a few crematorium services. And I've been for a few funerals at churches, right? And by far, the crematorium services, without any mass or service or religious thing, they are far, far more depressing and upsetting than actual services in a church. They're just so impersonal. Generally, you're in and out in 20 minutes. Someone would have selected a couple of really sad songs. A typical one is My Way. And this comes up, and now the end is near, and they're looking at this coffin, and everyone starts crying. It's just awful. Awful. Crematorium services are awful, and I hate going to them. Church mass, I'm quite happy to sit there in the church for an hour and a half, singing my head off during hymns, although to be fair, there's not much singing at funerals or weddings come to that, because people just don't know the hymns. They just don't know them. Even the well-known ones that I know, they don't know. Generally, you would pull out something that you think people might know, like The Lord's My Shepherd, like Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven, really well-known ones like that. But even when you start banging away those on the church organ, people just don't sing, so you just go through them. But the crematorium service is just so depressing. How do you think we could make them a little bit happier, perhaps. And you know, when you go to I don't know if you've gone to any crematorium service, you go in there, and one of the first things they often say is, we don't want this to be a sad, whoever it is, Dave doesn't want this to be an unhappy service. He wants you to remember with fondness and happiness his life. And then you all start crying. And it doesn't work. So how can we bring a little bit more fun into a crematorium service? Go, Dave.
Well, the only thing I can really think of is, let's say, from a bingo point of view, if that person was, say, a bingo addict, you'd have to play bingo, you see. And
Right.
Don't laugh, I know it's happened.
Bingo at a crematorium?
Well, yeah, I knew it did happen. Well, it was Irish, you see, so it was probably a wake.
Go on.
But a similar thing. It could be, if that person was a bingo addict, then you have to play bingo there. Or if that person was, say, a fan of, I don't know, blockbusters, you have to play blockbusters.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
You could actually, so you're in the crematorium, right? These are not strictly religious places. They're not.
No, they're not really churches, are they?
So you could have that. Dave was a great bingo player, and this afternoon, to celebrate his life, we're going to play bingo. And you give everyone the bingo tickets. There'll be a bloke up there in a sparkly jacket, hopefully me, brings out the bingo balls in one of those blower machines, and we play bingo. And we give away £5,000 cash as that to the lucky winner. And the 5 runners-up have to carry the coffin to the ovens. How's that?
Yeah.
See, you've got to bring a bit of fun into. I like it. Now that you've said that, all sorts of other ideas have come into my head. Karaoke. My karaoke singers, I'm sure, don't want people to sit there being miserable and upset doing their funeral, their service at the crematorium. You couldn't do this in a church, of course, crematorium. So why not choose that person's most favourite song, and then you hand it out to everyone. They all have to sing it, and anyone who doesn't sing it will be dragged out and have the hell kicked out of them by a group of bouncers round the back.
Yeah. Or Mandy Davenport with a whip.
Mandy Davenport with her whip, yeah. An excellent idea. Mandy Davenport, okay, there's a job for Mandy Davenport there.
You got the sound effect, didn't you?
Yeah, but what if that person, like Vera, likes skiing? You could have the service, I suppose, at a skiing slope or something like that, couldn't you?
Yeah, take them to Beckton House.
Yeah.
That's if that's still open, but...
I like that idea. Anyone else come up with any suggestions there, please? How can we make crematorium services more fun? Not church ones, because obviously that is a religious thing. That is a serious service. Crematoriums are bleeding depressing. Worst place ever to be buried. Okay, they're quick, they're efficient, but they are not nice. They're not nice. Hate them. Anyway, thanks, Dan, for calling in today.
Yeah, I'm having a look. No one else has said anything, Chris. So
Don't worry about them. They're probably talking about cars again or something boring like that, or football.
Yeah, more like that. Anyway,
asleep.
have a nice week.
Dan, thank you very much for calling in.
We'll see you next week. Lovely. Thank you.
Bye now. There we are. Dan is our head of trains here at United Kingdom Talk. Is anyone saying anything else about that? Let's just read a couple of messages. Stephen Dagenham. Talking about smells coming up through the floorboards, my bedroom is above the toilet. Oh dear. Is it what, your toilet or everyone else's? I don't know what sort of place you're in there. I don't know what sort of place you're in there. All right. Gary Ross there. Have you got any mints left, Chris? Yeah, there's a few here, don't worry. Lots of mints here, Gary Ross. All right. Noah, where did Barry Manilow write the line, "Happy people pass my way"? Happy people pass my way. That one was not EastEnders or BBC Breakfast. Must have been at the karaoke show at the Blackpool pub in Haslingden, Lancashire, near Burnley. Oh my God, Chris, he's proper funny. He's like you. What, the karaoke bloke? Oh, you've got to have fun at a karaoke night. I mean, I know other karaoke hosts. They do it. They are quite serious when they're doing it. You know, they do it serious. I can't do that serious. A karaoke night. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. Doesn't matter if you can't sing. Most of the people at karaoke nights, they know they're not a big singer or anything like that, you know, but they just want to be there and join in. That's what it's about. The fact that whether you could sing or not is pretty irrelevant at one of my karaoke. I just want you to go and have a reasonably good night and not take anything too seriously. Don't get irate if your microphone's not working properly or if the light's not on properly. For Christ's sake, it's a bloody karaoke night. It's not the Royal Albert Hall or something like that, or the Eurovision Song Contest. We might be getting that next year, mightn't we? John Paris says the Dan Woodhouse crematorium drive-through. That's interesting, isn't it? A drive-through crematorium. I bet they got those in America. A drive-through crematorium, don't you reckon? Eh? Something like that. Ray Balesco's there. Good evening, Ray. He loves the karaoke. Hello, Ray. He was there this morning for the chat show as well, weren't you? For the radio show there. Hello to you, Ray, there. Paul McElroy, some extra gigs for me. Absolutely, yeah. Karaoke, Paul McElroy says. Karaoke would liven it up. I think so, Paul. Extra gigs. I'm liking the sound of that. The Dark Side 69 says, I'm having a rave when I go. Good idea. Ray Balesco suggests the music to play at a funeral. Hot, hot, hot. Thank you, Ray. Hello to Glenda. Evening to Glenda. She's in the States there. Glenda's there. Ray loves the jacket. Thank you, Ray. Pineapple jacket. That's right, Paul. Yes. Shall we go there? Let's have a look. Load train spot in. Okay. Right, let's take another call. George is on the line. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris. I want to say sorry about that. My signal all of a sudden
Sorry about
down.
what, darling? What have you done?
Because you went to go to me and clicked on it.
Oh, don't worry about that, my love. Yeah, thank you.
My signal went.
No need to apologise, darling. Ray's trying to call in there. Ray, you can't call in while I'm on George's call. Just wait till George finishes and then you can call in. I can only do one call at a time, Ray. All right, my love?
I can do about 3 calls at once.
Well, I could do if I wanted to, but I find it gets very messy. That's why I don't like all these different people on the screens. I know that has a following. That's fair enough. It's just not for me. Like 9 people on the bloody screen talking at the same time. It does my head in. And no one's got anything particularly interesting to say.
It's not screen. It's just like this, but you can have 9 people.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think I'll ever do something like that, you know.
Yes, something dangerous. I already do something dangerous, don't I?
What's that then? Oh, what, fishing?
No, archery.
Oh, yes. Yes, you do, archery. That could be dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't flick your, I don't know what you call it, throw your arrow? What do you say? Throw the arrow?
Shoot the arrow.
Shoot the arrow. If you don't shoot your arrow in the right place, it could go in someone's head. We might send you over to Russia, actually, for a while. There's a little job over there that needs doing.
Yeah, I meant, when I sent it to you, that text message, I thought, oh no, that's wrong. Because what I do is, I don't spell it, I use a microphone thing.
Right.
And it, as you talk, it texts it to you.
Right, okay.
Then, but I can't see it until I send it.
Right.
So as I sent it, I was reading it, I was like, that's wrong.
Well,
And I
never
was
mind,
trying to
darling.
delete it,
You
but
have
I couldn't delete it.
You have corrected yourself now.
Yeah, because I couldn't delete it, because when it's gone, it's gone. You can't delete the message.
No. Not like an email, is it?
No.
I think some of those Facebook, sometimes you can remove the message that you'd sent already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been emailing Facebook at the moment. I've been having so much trouble with
Oh, I don't know why you
Facebook.
bother. They don't answer. Facebook,
They have,
bleeding
though.
pain in the arse, that is. I wouldn't be on it
They
if it
have
wasn't.
been answered.
They have they?
been answered. Yeah.
Go on.
Because I sent so many emails.
Right.
And they went, what's up with you then? You keep sending me an email. So I had to repeat myself again. It's like, oh, it's all right, we sort it out and it's fine now.
Why do they keep sending you emails then? What about?
No, I keep sending their email. I keep sending emails about, oh, when you FaceTime them,
Right.
you FaceTime them, but it cuts out for no reason. And my internet, because I've got this app where you test the internet,
Right.
and I'll get 100 gigs something, and I'll be and it just cuts off. And I look at it and I think, but my internet's fine. And I'll go, right, dear Facebook, can you sorted it? Go like, and it's fine now.
What's fine?
I've had
The internet?
No, the Facebook. I haven't had one cut off yet. One phone call cut off yet.
Right.
And also I've got another one where it comes up and it says, you can't use
Are you
this.
talking about Facebook phone calls?
Yeah.
Right, I
yeah.
understand now, yes, okay.
And it comes up sometimes, it says, you can't use Chrome for this Facebook, you have to use another internet thing.
Well, I use, I came off Chrome. I use Edge. You will find, actually, that everything to do with computers, people have their favourite things. The amount of people that say to you, you know, when a new Windows update comes or a new version of Windows comes out, and you'll get a load of people say, oh, this version's really crap, it does this and this. Basically, they don't know how it works, right?
Yeah.
I often don't know how something works as well, but I don't automatically say, this is rubbish. And it's the same with web browsers. You know, there are probably people listening at the moment now that I've said, oh, I use Edge. Oh, you shouldn't use that. It uses too much process power. It's crap. It does this, this, and this, and this. And then you'll find another group of people who say exactly the same about Chrome, and another group of people who say the same about Firefox. So just ignore them all. That's what I do. Oh,
Well,
honestly, there's so many bleeding experts on the internet, I cannot tell you. My brother-in-law drives him round the bend, he'll do something, and then 10 people will comment and suggest an easier way to do, or a different way to do what he does. My mate's good at doing that. Whenever I do something, he'll like, oh, why don't you do it this way? The most recent thing like that was a pizza in the oven. So I put this pizza in the oven, this is a few months ago now, and he's like, oh, can I put mine just on the grill thing? You know, the shelf thing. He said, then it'll get heated all round. And I'm like, well, why do you want to do that? Surely it'll make a mess. No, it won't. Okay. So we did that. I put mine, as usual, on a whole tray thing with a bit of silver foil underneath in case it drips. So I took mine out, and it wasn't quite done, I must admit. And when I took the silver out, a little bit of sticky was underneath because it hadn't quite cooked. But I still ate it and it wasn't quite cooked properly. Anyway, so then I said, is yours done? He said, yeah, I think so. Then he tried to take it out. Oh, I can't tell you. Of course, it wasn't cooked properly, right? And it went all down the bottom of my oven. All down the bottom of the oven. I said, well, you won't be doing that again. Well, it's not my fault. And he gets all irritated.
I just got image of him taking the picture.
Whenever I'm trying to do something, they're, oh, why don't you do it this way? Oh, even like hot cross buns. No, I do my hot cross buns in the oven. Can you not do them in the toaster? Oh, I don't want them in the toaster. Oh, but they're better. No, they're not. They're better in the oven. Then they don't get crispy in the middle. Why would you want crispy hot cross buns? They got to be soft in the middle.
Yeah.
I thought you died then. People are dying left, right and centre on this show tonight. Carry on, dear.
Yeah, my nan puts them in the oven now.
Your nan does. Does she say, how is she, all right?
She's fine, yeah. It's
Good.
not Pap I'm more worried about.
Oh, is he not well?
No, he's slowly going. We took him fishing yesterday.
Right.
And yes, Mick Davenport. Sorry, I've got another conversation going.
No, don't. Well, can you just concentrate on one person at a time, please? That's really annoying. I tell you what used to do my head in. There'd be people who called in, not you or Dan, you don't do this. There'd be people call in, and they'd be having a conversation with, oh, just a minute. Well, what's happened? Well, I'm just reading some of the messages. No, you're talking to me. It's like when I'm talking to you, very rarely do I go across and start reading other people's messages, unless they've been waiting a long time or they're new and they don't quite understand the setup yet. I'm talking to you now, so please, if you don't mind, talk to me. Oh, it's like my sister when you talk to my sister on the phone. If something happens, that's it. She can't cope, right? So I'll be talking to her, and then she start talking to someone else, and it's like I've disappeared. It's like I'm not there anymore. You can't concentrate on one person at a time. God's sake, man, it's crazy. Crazy. Continue.
So, yeah, and he had to get off the bank. It was that hot, he was just that hot. He just got no energy.
Right.
He had to get off the bank.
Oh, did he? This is your granddad, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. What do you call him again? Your Poppy? Poppy? Pappy?
Pap.
Pap. What does that mean, granddad? Is it like a Italian thing?
Yeah. The reason why I called him Pap, because my mum's dad, I called him Granddad.
Oh, right. So you like to give them different names?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, yeah, what I was saying was we went fishing yesterday. We always go in the evening fishing because it usually cools down, but yesterday, God, it was so hot.
Don't you get midges? Do you get midges?
Not where we go, no.
Oh, I don't like them. Keep biting away at you, don't they? Mosquitoes.
So, yeah, I went fishing yesterday, come back, and Pat says, oh, I fancy spare ribs. So, yeah, we had spare ribs for dinner.
Right.
Come back. I was laying in bed. I thought, I feel sick.
Oh.
So I went to go and it went all over the sheets and everything.
What, you?
Yeah. So I stripped the bed off and I put in the sin, went back to sleep, didn't I? Small woke up, I was like, my nan's going to moan at me, man. God, are you all right? No, I've just been sick last night. I said, I thought you have because your sheets were on the dirty linen basket. I said, yeah, that's fine, you get better soon. And went upstairs, I was like, oh, probably I won't get moaned at then.
And that's what nans are like. They look after you, George. Thanks for calling in tonight, all right?
Yes.
Cheerio, George.
Bye.
Bye, George. Oh, George not been very well, but he done his own sheets. He's a good boy. Noah. Noah says you said petrol is £2 at Esso, as in sod that of not paying. For some reason I thought the petrol would be cheaper in Wales, but it wasn't. It was just the same as it was here. John says, did I hear George say he's put his nan in the oven? Maybe. What a cruel thing to say. Where are we? Are we doing text? Emails? No, emails. Text. Okay, chat box. Let's scroll up a little bit. There we are. That's Dan there. Ray Balesco, did he clean it up? Yes, he did clean it up. He did indeed clean it up. You can call now, Ray, if you want to. There's my sister. Brother dear, you do that when you were on the phone to me, when you were walking, you chat to other people while you're talking to me. No, not quite, because I say, just a minute, sis, and then I'll talk to someone else, and then I'll come back to you. Whereas you start doing something else or talking to someone else, and you don't come back. It's like, what's happened here? Anyway, Ray's calling in. Evening, Ray.
Good evening. Yes.
Where are you, Ray? You're in London, aren't you?
I stayed in tonight just to listen to your show.
Did you really? Where were you going to go then, my love?
I was thinking of going up to the Zodiac Bar or something like that, or halfway, but if I go out tonight, I won't be able to come and see you on Friday.
Ah, okay. I'm actually going to be doing some karaoke's at Zodiac, I think.
Whereabouts?
I'm pretty sure. It'll be some Sunday nights, 17th of July.
Yeah.
Have you written that down?
Remind me, I look at your website on your Facebook, you'll be announcing it. Whereabouts?
Zodiac.
Well, it's very good there. Like, I love David and Jade, such lovely people.
They're nice. They're a really good mixture of people in there, aren't they? All different types of people. I love it.
I haven't been since I've been out of hospital. I haven't been.
Right.
I just started going out again. I went to halfway last Saturday, second time,
Right.
and I found it easy. I took it easy when I knew I was getting tired.
Yes.
I went home because I didn't want any wobbly, like falling.
Oh, yeah. If you get tired, go home. That's always the best thing. Don't stay out just for the sake of being there. If you're tired, go home. I would.
No, I did. Because I was middle of Tanya's show. I love seeing Tanya. She's very good.
Tanya Hyde is a drag queen, boys and girls, just in case you're wondering, all right?
It's one of my favourites, but
Yes.
I knew I had it up because seeing Rose before,
Yes.
I went out for lunch for early in the day, went to a local Wetherspoon, so I knew I had enough to drink, so I thought, enough's enough.
How much is
Don't
dinner
stop
in...
drink.
How much is a lunch in there now? I've lost my pen. Eh?
You're very organised normally.
I can't find my pen. How much is a lunch in the Wetherspoons? What did you have?
I had scampi and chips.
All right, and how much is that?
They were about £6 with a drink.
Well, it's not bad, is it? Oh, there it is.
There were two of us, so we bought a round each.
Yes.
Then I went on to soft drinks just to even it out because I didn't drink too much. I went on to had a couple of Diet Pepsis
Yeah.
because I didn't drink too much.
How long have I known you for now, Ray?
Half my life, nearly 25 years.
Is it?
I mean, you're still very young. You get younger every time I see you.
See, how old are you now? Are you 50?
55 yesterday.
You're 55, yeah. That may be happening.
55 and one day.
Well, I tell you what I get now, and it started happening a couple of years ago, and I know John Parrish gets this as well. And you can be sitting there in a chair or laying in bed, and your mind just plays these old things over in your head all the time. And you just come on the phone now, and in my mind, you are dancing on the stage on a Monday night in front of me DJing at the Black Cat with about 20 other people on the stage in a packed venue. I can see that now in front of me.
Yeah, I still remember.
Does that happen to you?
I still remember. It was like Monday night. A few of us from work, Safeway at the time. We used to finish work about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Get changed in my friend's car. Come home about 2:30 in the morning. About 3 hours sleep and go straight to work. Can't do that now.
No, you can't. But do you keep remembering old things like you've got all these videos in your head and they just suddenly start playing again of old things that have happened?
When I hear a song on the radio or go past a place, it doesn't matter where it is. If I'm in Camden, I always have to go past the Black Cat just to say hello to it and start singing, say like Brown Girl or Feed the Birds or whatever song. I just think myself, I can hear you in the background. I can hear John Moore playing it, being John Moore.
Yeah.
I can hear all your jingles.
Happy
I can hear
days,
Sandra, like being Sandra.
Happy days, eh?
Have you spoken to Dell for a while?
No, not for a while. No.
I know you haven't been well again, I heard.
But Sandra, I heard that as well. She's had cancer a few times, hasn't she? I think I think kidneys. I'm not 100% sure, or maybe throat. I'm not 100% sure of that.
I speak to Dave Lynn on Facebook a lot. He's such a lovely man, and his wife.
Yes.
So sweet, but it's a lovely couple. And how do you keep so young? I love all your jackets you wear on your show.
Do you? Well, there's a few in the cupboard. I haven't bought any for some time now, to be honest. But yeah, there's like a little selection of things in there that I rotate, as you well know. My favourite one, I think, is the Clouds one.
Well, what you got on today? What I saw, you look lovely today.
Do you think so? Thank you, Ray. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you.
So on Friday, what's the best time to get there to get a couple of songs in?
To get a couple... How many songs do you want to sing?
It's just two, because I don't know how to do it.
You'd be all right to be there by sort of about 8:45, if you want to do two.
Yeah, we're probably going to
8:45.
do the first, me and Robert and Alex, but I'll just see what days are, how it goes.
Yeah. Do you have the text number? Oh, you've got...
Yeah, I've got that.
Right, okay. If you, when you're sort of 10 minutes away from the pub, text over your song to me, and I'll get that on the text, and I'll put you in the queue then. And then by the time you're there, you'll probably...
get some dinner anyway.
You might get
there early.
You might get 3 in if you do it like that, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's only
I
people
know,
people that get there really early, like DJ Chris, Maureen, Roy. Sometimes they can do 4 or 5. Well, not 5 maybe. Certainly 3 or 4. But that's because they get there early.
I don't know him. How's Roy doing?
He's very well. Yes, he was there last week on Friday.
Well, because when I was last at Central Station last time I saw you,
Yeah.
he wasn't there.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't come every single week, but he does come most of the time.
Oh.
Yeah, he does. Oh, hang on, I put the wrong blooming poster up there now. William Morris one doesn't happen anymore. That one didn't work. No, it never got busy really, so we knocked that one on the head.
I never been to that bar. I heard a lot about it.
No, well, don't now because it's not on anymore. That was on.
No,
well, don't get me wrong. Sorry, they do have other nights on there. Yes.
I've seen a lot of drag queens go there.
Yeah.
And
All right
they
then,
never
Ray.
relax.
Thanks for calling tonight, Ray. Bye bye now. Oh, he's gone. There we are. That's quick, wasn't it? He suddenly disappeared then. Where'd you go, Ray? All right, my darlings, thank you very much. 07451 287 337 for your text, or you can call in, that's the phone number there. Okay, let's just pop back into the chat box. Brew a bit of rickshaw says it's a big birthday for me tomorrow, and it's not sitting well. You've proper cheered me up and taken my mind off it with your show tonight. Well, why didn't you say so, Rick? Why didn't you say it was your birthday tomorrow? We might have sung. Oh, hang on. What's going on? What's that? What's that music playing now? Hang on a minute. Here we go. Wrong bit of music. Here we go. 1 minute. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Brew a Bit Rickshaw. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my darlings. All right, Brew a Bit. We're always pleased to sing someone's birthday here on the show. Okay, what else have we got here? Laughing gas. How dangerous is laughing gas? Now, I said to you right at the beginning of the show, I'm a bit funny with chemical type things, fire, nuclear. I don't like any of that. All of them scare me a bit. And one of the things that scares me is laughing gas. Right. Now, if I was in a hospital and they put one of them masks on, I don't know what it is they use, some sort of gas to knock you out, that would frighten me on its own. But to actually do something without any sort of medical people around, nah. And you always see people breathing in this laughing gas, and then they get that little voice like that, haven't they? Oh, go on, they get a balloon or something like that, and they... And they can't, for a few moments or a few minutes, they talk in this high-pitched voice. And I've always, how safe is that? It's all very well if you've done it, and probably some of you out there have done that, haven't you? Done the old laughing gas. Oh, it's all right, it's safe, Chris. Well, there was a story in the Sun here. Have you ever done that? Anyone done that laughing gas? Where you suck the gas in and you speak with a squeaky voice? I don't think it's a good thing. Why would you? You shouldn't be breathing anything except air, But in the Sun here, a mum has warned those going to the Glastonbury Festival this week, which I think some people have gone there now, haven't they? To avoid taking laughing gas after it made her son's lung explode. It does say explode in quotation marks. This boy, 16 years old, inhaled nitrous oxide at a gig, but was later taken to hospital with a swollen neck, breathlessness, and a ruptured lung. a ruptured lung. Medics say he was lucky to be alive. His mum says no one knows the consequences. It could have killed him. His lung now has a hole in it. Nitrous oxide is used legally and as an anaesthetic, but is often pumped into balloons to be inhaled by those hunting for a high. It is illegal to supply it for such effects. Well, how would you know? How would you know? You know, you go into a shop, I'd like to buy some laughing gas, please. Now, is it for balloons or are you going to inhale? Oh, it's for balloons. How would they know? A festival spokesman says, as a contraband good under the Psychoactive Substances Act 2006, it's actually banned at Glastonbury. So there you go. There's some proof in the dangers of this stuff. That people do. It's hippie crack, isn't it? Hippie crack. It's just crazy doing anything like that, isn't it? 07451287337 for your texts. John Parrish says, I've done it many times. It's not laughing gas, it's helium. Well, they're calling it laughing gas here. It says laughing gas on the in the Sun newspaper there. I don't know what the difference is on this stuff. Helium, laughing gas. Well, why would he breathe that in then? Or is it two different gases? One's being breathed in to be to get high, and the other one to change your voice? Is it two completely different gases? Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, terrible really, isn't it? Oh, I know. I've got some pictures to show you today. I like to show you pictures. First of all, here is a gadget that you will need. Now, my sister, if you're still watching this, don't show this to Jimmy because he's got a nice record player, what I gave him, my Technics 1210. He's got Technics 1210, which he did a little bit of a repair to, and that plays his record. My nephew Jimmy, the younger one, he loves Frank Sinatra, and he's got a selection of LPs and the little record player there that I gave him, and he's got his own amplifier. And it works well. But don't show him this. You know all these wireless things you can buy? You can now buy a wireless record player. Works by Bluetooth. No plugs to plug into a laptop or to an amplifier or anything like that. This works off Bluetooth. Check this out. Look at this. How clever is that? No wires. No wires at all on there. Where's the advert gone? It's somewhere. Come on, where are you? There it is. This is, what you're looking at is a Donner belt drive Bluetooth turntable. A new gadget for some of you boys and girls, perhaps. For vinyl records, wireless record player with built-in phono preamp, magnetic cartridge, hi-fi variable pitch control, USB digital output, auto return, and it's 2 speeds, so that's 33 and 45. I don't think you can get anything with 78 in it anymore, can you? Remember the old 78 ones? It says the turntable has a built-in switchable phono in, line out phono preamp that allows playing of vinyl with or without a phono equalizer. Okay, so that means you can connect it to an aux in, I think. And it's just, I'm amazed by that. I don't know why I'm amazed by that. You can buy all sorts of gadgets now in the music world to make your instrument wireless. Indeed, the lady at the church, Sheila, lovely Sheila, she has this gadget thing that she plugs into her normal, it's not electric guitar, she's got like a normal, what would you call it? Acoustic. She's got a wooden acoustic guitar, but she plugs this thing on the other side of it, right, and then she's got a receiver box, like a speaker, and she's got something else plugged into that speaker, and she can just play the guitar and it comes through the speaker. No wires. Now that's new to me, the record player. Has anyone got one of those Bluetooth wireless record players? How fantastic is that? Huh? It's great, isn't it, eh? Wonderful. And that was on Amazon, as I say, £179. Now, if you're an Amazon shopper, good news. Reporting in The Sun, Amazon has confirmed Prime Day. That's like a sale day. They have the Black Friday thing, don't they? And the is it Cyber Monday? But that's like at the other end of the year, November, December, isn't it? They also have a little bit of a sale halfway through the year, and that's about to happen on the 12th and 13th of July is the date set for that. Amazon in the Sun has confirmed Prime Day will take place on the 12th and 13th of July this year. The annual 48-hour flash sale has been around for a few years now and is now considered one of the biggest sales of the year. So if you're waiting to buy something, do have a look now at the price and then wait for those 2 dates and then go back on Amazon and see if it's any cheaper. You might just be lucky and your item might be one of those in that sale. Generally, if you're waiting for one of the Amazon speakers or an Amazon show, you know, the speaker with the little screen, those type of things, probably the Blink cameras, maybe the Ring cameras and all the Ring devices and things like that. Often they have those particular things are almost always in these sales that they do. It says in 2022, 2022, shoppers can expect to see a stunning range of price drops around tech, home and gardening, appliances, fashion and beauty. Without doubt, there will also be a lot of Amazon device deals to snap up. That's what I'm saying, the Amazon devices to snap up to. In the past, we've seen very big discounts of up to 50% off the Amazon speakers there. And Fire tablets. My sister's got... what's it called? Oh, she's got the Amazon tablet. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. All right, it's right on the tip of my tongue and all that name. What's your tablet called, Sharon? But it comes off Amazon. You can only get off Amazon. Ring video doorbells, but we'll have to wait a little longer for this year's price cuts. It says, for those who can't wait for the deals, Amazon has all confirmed it will tease bargain hunters with early deals from now, actually, from July the 21st, okay, from yesterday. Keep an eye on the deals as they launch by heading to the Amazon Deals Hub. Shall we have a quick look at that at the moment? Let's see what's on there. Anything? Oh, they got the hair clippers that I've got. How much are they now? £29? Oh, 15 pounds. £15 one's there, £50, 45. My hair clippers were 16 quid off Amazon. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. They got the TP Link security cameras. They're $44.99. Not much of a saving there. I don't know. Anything else there of interest for you? Let's have a look. No, I don't think there's much more there. There's another camera there, toothbrush, washes. There's lots on there, actually, if you want to have a look. So you need to type in Amazon deals or something like that, and that should come up there. Okay. Vera, hello, Vera. Vera says, you're the same as me. They tried to put the mask over my nose to put me under for an operation, you know, the gas thing. Oh, that's horrible. The smell. Oh, I never forget the first time I had that gas, Vera, and I was about 12 years old, 14 years old, and it was the dentist. It was a dentist, and he put this mask on, and I was struggling, and they had to hold me, and eventually they put this mask on. You breathe it in a couple of times, and God, you're asleep. And all I can remember is this smell of rubber. Oh, I hated it. Hated it. Vera says they tried to put the mask over my nose to put me under for an operation. I wouldn't let them do it. In the end, they had to inject me in the vein I had in my hand to knock me out. Yeah, I don't like it all either. I don't like it all. Kindle, thank you, Gary Ross. It is a Kindle. That's the one. It's a Kindle. That's what my sister's got, a Kindle. She spends loads of time on that watching. She's probably watching a show on it now, actually. You know, she watches Netflix videos. She's always got a Kindle on, and is quite happy to sit there watching, and I don't know what else she does with it, actually. Thank you. John says, apologies, I gave it all information is the same. Okay, so helium is in fact laughing gas. It's the same thing, is it? Okay. Well, you've taught me, I don't know. Kenny Everett used to use helium. I don't remember that. I mean, I saw a bit of Kenny Everett, the video show and that, but... He was one of the very old radio stars, wasn't he, really? Brewer Bitshaw says nitrous oxide on its own is very dangerous, but when used medically, it's mixed with oxygen, very safe. I'm a paramedic as a trade. Oh, right, okay. Oh, great. I love the birthday song. Thank you very much, Mr. Brew. There you go. All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I say. You know, these kids, they buy this stuff and they start sucking it in. Oh, it must be all right. And it's not. There's no one watching. In my mind, something like that is just as bad as glue sniffing. Kids all used to do that, didn't they? Glue sniffing. I remember one of my mates was out doing it once. Gary, his name was. This is... Oh, Christ, I was living in Wandsworth at the time, so that's about 30 years ago now. And he put this glue in about, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to get a bus. And he put this glue, like that. And then he's like, oh, my head. And I can only liken it. He was holding his head like I had a brain freeze from an ice cream, but it seemed to be a lot worse. I was like, oh, it's really buzzing. Oh, it's hurting. It was like that for, I don't know for how long. He didn't pass out or anything. Well, I think... How is that fun? How is that fun to be in that dangerous situation? Because you don't do it for me. I told you I won't even get on a bleeding roller coaster. One of my old best friends, Steve is his name. He was an ambulance driver. And we have someone who works at the pub, actually. Jamie, his name. He's only a young lad, 23. He does the volunteering. He's got an app. A responders app or something, Rickshaw. I might have told you this the other week. And if you volunteer and you train to do like life-saving skills, I suppose, and you can do this, and when you've done it, you get this app. And then if something's happening and there's no ambulance available or something like that, this page goes out to everyone, and anyone who's got the app, it goes beep, 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 like that, right? And they answer it, and they go to wherever the person requires some sort of attention, and he tries to assist. He saved a few lives. All right. Now, Dan says laughing gas and helium are two different gases. Oh, I don't know. Recreational nitrous oxide is neat. That's not good, is it? Dan says, why would you specifically take laughing gas to go to Glastonbury? I don't know. Well, some of the kids do, don't they? Don't know. Good Sam app for cardiac arrests near you. I don't know what the name of the app is there, Brewer bit. I mean, they're not professional people. I mean, top marks to anyone who does that for a little bit of voluntary or any sort of voluntary work, you know. Anyone who does voluntary work, you don't need to sit there bored to tears. You can go and do something, whether it's saving lives like that or, I don't know, going around to visit elderly people who are on their own to sort of be their friend for half an hour a week or a day or whatever. Or like I do litter picking. You know, you could, there's plenty of things out there for people to do. Well, no, I can't. Oh, I'm bored today. Oh, the amount of people, you know, some on the Facebook, don't you? Oh, I'm bored. Well, go and do something then. I don't know what to do. A bit like that, isn't they? Oh dear. Okay. So that's done there. Alrighty. Just checking emails there. Right. Text messages there. Let me just clear these down so I don't get confused reading things out twice sometimes. And by the way, Vera, can you just give us 5 minutes after the show before you send through tomorrow's Vera's Choice? That will let me clear the messages down, and then when I switch it back on tomorrow, yours will be the only one there, you see. And it won't get lost. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find now. All right. How about a nice night in prison, boys and girls? Who wants to spend I bet one or two of you have, haven't you? Nights in prison? Eh? Is that something you might want to do? This came out in the Metro last week, and we tried to do it last week, but we ran out of time. It says in the Metro, on June the 12th, 1962, 3 inmates tried to escape from Alcatraz. Anyone seen that film? Escape from Alcatraz. Excellent film. Roger Moore. Now, I've got to tell you, That is the first film I ever watched on a video cassette recorder because it came free with a video cassette recorder. I saved 500 quid. 1982. I saved up. I remember they were really expensive. 500 quid I saved up with my savings for a video cassette recorder, and I ordered it. You couldn't just buy it off the shelf. I ordered it and it came into the shop, and I took it home to my mum's, and we plugged it in, and it wasn't fantastic, to be honest. When you get a bright picture, the picture went all funny, started getting lines and things, but it kind of worked. And the film I got with it was Escape from Alcatraz. Yeah. We got the Betamax one. Anyway, the story says, 60 years on, we're now taking a look at prisons around the world you'll practically be begging to serve time in. These cell blocks have now been transformed into hotels, from luxury stays to backpacker hostels. Not a bad place to be locked up in then. But if you do want to try out life as a prisoner, minus the crime, obviously, then one Latvian hotel will give you the full inmate experience. The Liberty, Boston. Let's have a look. Just a minute. It says, let's just hope they don't throw away the key. Now, let me see if I can find this one in it. Does it say anything about it? Here we go. So it's the Karosta prison, Leppaja in Latvia. All right? For the real deal, try Karosta prison. Visitors to this former military jail can sign up for guided tours as well as sleepovers. During these terrifying overnight stays, you'll be treated like a former inmate. Hence the disclaimer you have to sign first. Expect interrogations, threadbare blankets, and a night in a cold, damp cell adorned with graffiti of former prisoners. Book a double cell for £20 per night. See, people like to do this sort of thing. Now, there's a restaurant I came over, and they've got various restaurants in different parts of the world. Now, I think I took a picture of this. Oh, what's this? Oh, blimey, that's bad news. Okay. No, I can't find it now. I think they've got a place in Manchester. I'm so sorry. I'm just a little bit thrown. Something I just saw there. Now, where is it? Manchester restaurant. Hang on, Manchester. That treats people badly. Now, they basically got. Let's see if we can find it. Karen's Diner. Here we go. Karen's Diner, it's called. I came across this the other night. A brand new diner concept is coming to Sheffield. Now, when did this come out? 9th of June. Okay, they've already got a couple of restaurants, and I think they've got one in Brisbane in Australia and various other places. Anyway, a restaurant with extremely rude. People love this sort of thing. They love this sort of thing. I mean, I believe there are hotels that you can go to that are just like Fawlty Towers. You go there and you're treated badly. But that's why they go for that experience. All right? Well, there's Karen's Diner. One going to Sheffield. A restaurant with extremely rude staff and poor table service is going to launch in the UK this year. Karen's Diner was first opened in locations across Australia, including Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne, and encourages customers to moan as much as possible while dining. Now, my mate will be very, very good at this, I have to tell you that. And indeed my nephew's wife as well. She loves to moan. Now the restaurant has come to Sheffield, along with 100% rude staff, handmade burgers and plenty of fun. The website says Karen's is an interactive diner and an absurdly fun experience. At Karen's, you will be greeted and waited upon by rude waiters who in return are expecting you to give it full Karen. So you've got to go in there and moan. Right? But don't think you're going to have a comeback. You're not going to have a comeback, because you will. I often say on this show, you know, if you don't want an answer to your comment, don't make the comment. Because often you find when you're doing something and someone say something that they think is funny, and you'll give it a response that you think is funny, and they won't like it. Well, don't say it in the first place then. Simple as that. It says it's a place where you can complain until the cows come home, because we literally don't care. You can expect good food, good fun, and a dining experience like you've never had before. Let us know if it's your birthday, if your name is Karen, and for the love of Karen, don't ask to speak to the manager. And it's good news for anyone with the name Karen, as you can enjoy some free food as long as you bought your ID as proof. Their website adds, our staff are rude, our manners are non-existent, and we're the perfect place for Karens everywhere to vent their anger and dismay at the world. I love the sound of this. I love the sound of this. Some of the drinks on the menu include the music is too loud, I've been waiting 10 minutes for some service, and you've just lost my business. The ticket's £15 on the website. That's not bad, is it? I thought they already had a place up and running here somewhere. Karen's Diner. Hang on. Karen's Diners, if you want to go and have a look at it, gang. I'm loving it. There's one in Gillingham here. There's one in Gillingham in Kent. It says here. I think. Or is that a different place? Hang on a minute. Karen's. Oh, there's one here. Is this it? One here? Here we go. So this came out on the 3rd of May in Wales Online. I've obviously got one in Wales. It's not for the easy and offended. Alex Grove found at a venue where people are booed for being vegan. It says in Wales Online, restaurants normally pride themselves on offering the best service they can and showing impeccable politeness to diners. But the chain of eateries has now arrived in the UK that aims to provide entirely the opposite, where vegan customers can expect to be booed and patrons wearing glasses should be prepared for insults. I love it. And don't you just know, the millennials, which is where all the problems start from in this country and all over the world, there were no problems in the world until the millennials came along. They are the worst sort of people, aren't they? Don't you think, millennials? Dreadful people. Constantly looking for upset. And anyone that follows them, of course, copied them. They were where all the problems started, millennials. Can you just imagine a millennial at Karen's Diner? And do you know what? The more I see them offended, the more funny I see it. I laugh more and more at people that are offended. I love it. Just put on your Sky News and watch them in the morning, dear. Karen's Diner is named after the slang term referring to a particular type of woman perceived as being excessively demanding with an inflated sense of entitlement. We all know them, dear. It's an Australian phenomenon comprising novelty restaurants where the waiters and waitresses, effectively actors, try to be as rude and obnoxious as possible to guests. Alongside this concept, real food is served, probably very good quality food as well. When I heard a restaurant with rude staff and terrible service was coming to Sheffield, I knew I wanted to try it out. It's already hugely popular in Australia. Oh, now it's saying Sheffield here. Upon walking in, so he's been already, so it's obviously open now. Upon walking in, it was immediately obvious that we were in for a wild and offensive ride. We really were at the mercy of the waiters and waitresses who held nothing back and really went for it, all in the best way possible. Alex continued. As soon as we walked in, another diner was getting booed for being vegan. And it wasn't long. I'm having an idea here for my 60th birthday party, I've got to tell you. I could invite I could invite all the people that are constantly moaning about things, always being offended by something I've done or said, so they've taken it. You know, whatever way, whether they've taken it rightly or wrongly, I couldn't care less, really. You know, they're upset by something I've said. I will invite all these people to this place and get my own back in one swoop. As we walked in, another diner was getting booed for being vegan, and it wasn't long before the moody and miserable front of house pointed us to our table. From then on, it was insult after insult with savage jibes that made my toes curl. I honestly couldn't praise the staff enough for how uncomfortable they made me feel. There is a reason this restaurant is only suitable for people who are only over 16, and definitely not the place for people who are easily offended. You see, I'm rarely offended. Rarely. I just laugh. I just laugh. What's the point of being upset all the time? If you don't like something, why even say something? Just move on. Move on. You know, you shouldn't feel forced to do anything, really, you know. You shouldn't really feel forced to do anything. Alex went on to say, to describe what happened and listed some of the things the staff said. One person with glasses was called a ginger four-eyed. My friend got called effing embarrassing when she ordered the vegan option. And the waiters ripped up a drawing I spent a good 10 minutes on. With these things, you have to get into the spirit of it, and I took myself to release some inner rage and be narky towards the staff. It was actually quite cathartic to do that in a restaurant, and while it's not for everyone, some people will absolutely love it. I would love to go to this place. I'm just trying to think how my sister would make of it. I think she'd just sit there saying, I don't find this funny. Which makes it even funnier. My nephew Gary would just sit there. He would piss himself, Gary. He would find the high thing highly amusing. He would. Alex said the food, burger and chips, was chucked on the table. Meanwhile, the staff really weren't happy about requests for knives, forks and condiments. To round off the evening, the staff made a hat for me, which seemed like a nice gesture. That was until I looked at what was written of it. I have a small willy, says Alex. Come on, who wants to go here? Anyone want to go here? I have to admit I was dubious about how far the Karens would go and just how insulting, rude and terrible the whole experience would be. But I can honestly say they didn't disappoint, and I found myself in utter shock at some of the things they said and did. To sum it up, he says, if you're easily offended, avoid this place like the plague. If you want to experience this obscene novelty, then get yourself booked in. I love the sound of that. What do you reckon, eh? Is it something you want to do? Come on. Hello to Greg. Good evening to you, Greg. All right, Greg. Evening, Greg. You're a bit late tonight, mate. We're nearly finished now. Okay. John Paris. Roy Chubby Brown is the head waiter at Carrots. Isn't he fantastic? Did you mention once that you knew him or you'd met him? I think. What a great man that is. Roy Chubby Brown has me in stitches. And they keep cancelling him. This damn cancel stuff has got to stop. There are people now standing up to it. The whole cancel culture. Ricky Gervais, even if you don't like him, it doesn't matter. He's standing up. And now Rowan Atkinson has said it as well, isn't he? You should be able to joke about anything. If you're offended, tough. Leave. Then go. Go on, don't like it, just go. Don't have to say something. Why have you got to say something? Or make a phone call, or write on your silly little Twitter. Tap, 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 tap. I don't like this. You miserable bastards. Go on, go back and go and sit indoors. Close all the doors, close the curtains. Nothing will offend you ever again. And you'll be bored to tears, won't you? Bored to tears. Yeah, Roy Chubby Brown, great entertainer. It was Clint Eastwood and Escape from Alcatraz and not Roger Moore. Was it? Okay, thank you very much, John, for that. Thank you. Always feel free if you hear me say something and it's not quite right, then do tell me. I'm not an expert on everything, you know. And I certainly don't pretend to be either. Don't you love these people who pretend to be experts on videos? There's a lot of those around, isn't there? Oh no, mate. No, this is what you got to do. You got to do it this way. I've been doing this for 25 years now. Yeah, if you say so, mate. And your eyes roll up, don't they, eh? Brio a bit. Rick Shaw said I would definitely go with you and Gary. Me and Gary and you would probably have such a laugh there. But I know some people that I really don't think would like it. My sister, I really don't think she'd like it. And maybe my nephew's wife as well. I don't know. I'd love to go somewhere like that. I hope you'd be allowed to video it. Put your effing camera away, they say, wouldn't they? Oh dear. Dan says perhaps I should be more rude and obnoxious. I don't think you could be, Dan. I don't think you could be rude and obnoxious, you, my love. Yeah. Dan says they say prisons are like holiday camps, so this is the experience. Is that something you might want to go to? You know, like a prison place to be treated like a prisoner. You know, there are other experiences like that, aren't there? Where you can go and sort of live that sort of thing, you know, whatever that is. Okay, one more text here. Vera from Vera's Choice in the Morning says, I think you should go with your sister and film it. I don't think she'd be amused. Anyway, time to go. Thanks ever so much for joining us on the show. As always, we didn't get quite through the list of stuff we were going to talk about there, but time is time. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow morning, gang, but I'm doing a little radio show at Reach on Air. That'll be starting just after the 9 o'clock news tomorrow morning. reachonair.com. You can listen on your Amazon device. Just say the word for Amazon and then say say Amazon play radio station Reach on Air, and she should start you playing that, okay? Alrighty, time to go, boys and girls. Vera, I might ring you in a bit, Vera. Actually, I might ring you in a little bit, Vera. Okay, my love, if you're still up, that is. Time to go. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Another chat show for you next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Thank you, those of you that took the time and trouble to call in there. Greg says, I've been watching from the start. Oh, excellent, Greg. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. See, it was that interesting you didn't find the need to comment. I love it. Yep, another one for you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And if you didn't see the Barry Manilow video, that also is up on this channel somewhere. It should be just below this this show if you want to have a little look at that from Monday night. It really was really good. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.